Wolfspeed is going through a bankruptcy, and there is actually a high probability trade you can make with options in the next few days. So this setup will yield you 50% profit without predicting the stock price movement. Rather, it will just rely on the timing of the actual restructuring. So here we are selling a calendar put spread, selling the January 2027 put for 0.5 strike price, and buying the same strike price, $0.5, in December 19th this year. That will yield us a difference of 17 cents per share that we get as a credit and pocket it right now while making the trade. So I believe the Wolf will be delisted by latest in December from the stock exchanges, and this thing still works even if you think it's going to happen in January or March. It's just that your spread will be slightly lower. So before we dive into the actual trade and see the different scenarios, let's take a look at why these dates are important and is Wolf actually going to get delisted that quickly. Thankfully, we have public information filed in SEC, and as you can see here, it clearly states that all of the common stock will be cancelled and the existing equity holders are expected to receive 3 to 5% of the new equity from the new shares that will be issued when the restructuring is complete. So when will this delisting actually happen? We also have a hint from September 8th, where the company shared it is expected to complete in the next several weeks. So that would put us towards the middle of October or towards the end of October, the latest. I'm picking December just as a buffer between those two dates. Also, this statement of having 97% of the senior secured notes and 67% of the outstanding convertible notes agreeing to the plan is giving us high confidence that this is actually going to happen very quickly. Recently, just today, they've announced that they'll be converting to the Delaware Corporation on September 29th. So the timeline is matching, things are going in an accelerated pace, and there are no news about creditors being unhappy with the plan. So everything's pointing towards a very quick delisting of Wolf from the exchanges. So we also know that from the original document, the shareholders will receive the new stocks, but we don't know exactly how much they're going to be worth. It really depends on the regulatory approvals and the new equity valuations. That, in fact, is why can we do this trade, because the last traded price of Wolf is not defined at the moment, and it could range very widely from, I don't know, 14 cents per share to all the way up to 70 cents per share. So there's a lot of place for speculation, and that is exactly why you cannot buy just a put at 50 cents strike price, because you could actually lose money. It is very unpredictable. So this is exactly where the calendar spreads get into place, because once the stock ceases to exist, that will effectively expire all the future stock options that go both 2026 and 2027 and 2028. So effectively, at the cancellation date, all the options with the same strike price of 0.5 will only have their intrinsic value and they will all be worth equal. So as long as the stock gets delisted before December 19th, I'll keep my $17 premium per contract, and the two contracts that I was long and short, those two legs will actually cancel each other out for a net neutral valuation. So let's take a look at the actual scenarios in our spreadsheet. So I wrote down here 3 scenarios for a case when delisting happens before December. In my example, I've bought a long leg for 14 cents per share, and I sold a cash secure put for expiring in January 2027 for 31 cents per share. This is how, this means that if the stock ends up being worth $0 at the cash settlement date, my short put will actually be in the negative 19 cents, but my long put will be worth 50 cents, and I only paid 14 for it, so I'll be profiting 36. Net, that yields me the exact same premium, as we've already discussed, 17 cents. If the stock actually ends up being worth 50 cents per share, then my long put will be worthless and my short put will also be worthless. So on the long put, I'll just lose my $14 per contract that I paid for it. But I will be actually pocketing the whole premium that I collected for a cash secure put, again for $17 per contract. And if the stock is above $0.5, let's say $0.7, we get the exact same case as number two, where both options end up expiring worthless and we keep the $17. So in any case, we keep the whole premium because those two puts actually will have the same value at the expiration. So the only way this can go wrong is if really the stock does not get listed and we are past December and the stock value is, let's say, $0.5. So my long put will actually be in the negative. And then after this date, towards my expiration of my short leg in January 27, my short put will actually expire while it's in the money, and in the worst case scenario, stock becomes completely worthless. So I'll actually be getting those two scenarios combined for a negative $0.33. As you can see, this is a very, very unlikely scenario because first, the stock has to be above $0.5 on December expiration date, and then it has to drop to zero towards January 2027. I don't think that's going to happen. Even if it does, we still have time for the stock to bounce. There's going to be some volatility, and we can probably close the short put for about the same prices we've opened it up. So here you go. This is a real possibility, a very simple trade. It is not easy to find them though. There is a lot of research that goes into it, and this is exactly why we are building QuantWheel. It's going to be the world's first AI options agent that does this kind of research for you. So if you're interested, just get on the watch list